Hi there folks, my name's Nova24 and I'm here to present a game which I feel has been a little underexposed. It's been out for a while, but I feel it hasn't had the exposure it deserves. So the game, as you can see, is Naval War Arctic Circle. Now this is a game about real-time naval strategy, with the emphasis on the real-time part. We'll get to that a little bit later. So for those who've been gaming for a long time, it's very much in the vein of Harpoon and the Harpoon series, where you act as a strategic commander and you actually position your naval and air forces in an attempt to complete missions and to execute operations in the North Sea and the North Atlantic. Now the game is a very basic setup. The graphics are not there to be the main thing of the game. It's about the gameplay itself. So you'll see that in a moment. So what we'll do is we'll just get started. Let's go through here. So we'll just go to the single player. I'll cover off this mission editor and multiplayer a bit later. But the single player. So you've got your campaign tutorial. Now your tutorial you can take, but if you actually start the NATO campaign, then you're actually going to play the tutorial anyway. So let's have a quick look at that first couple of missions. Let's go new campaign. So I'll play NATO because, let's face it, with my British background, I always like to play NATO. Okay, so you got your easy, your normal, and your hard. Now your hard is quite difficult. So let's just run it on normal for now, and we'll see how we go. So let's go start that one. So the way of doing, instead of expensive cutscenes and things like that, it's actually got it's more of a cartoon style. So it flashes initially up with these newspaper things. So you can see we've got some NATO exercises going on. So this is all set in the near future. So it is sort of designed to utilise the stuff that is around now and is sort of being developed right now, and to make it a bit more real feeling for people. Now this sort of cartoon style introduction is always interesting. Excuse me folks. So let's go race through that. And it is kind of hilarious actually if you actually read some of this stuff. You can imagine if this is actually how people work, and then how we stayed safe in our oceans over the years is actually a bit surprising. Alright. So it's a nice basic one for movement and things like that. But this is a good chance to actually show what's happening in here. So this is what I was talking about with the graphics. So you do have this 3D view down here. Now you can switch these views. So you got your main map here, shows your airports, so any units would be listed there. You've got a frigate here. And it's currently got an aircraft on board. Now if you want to see what the graphics are like, you can switch the views. Now you can zoom in, but as I was saying guys, the graphics quality is not the best because this isn't the primary point of the game. The primary point of the game is this stuff here, the actual battle map. Alright, so let's do what the tutorial needs to do. So apparently we're going to be launching some helicopters. So it's a very simple sort of thing, easy to grasp the concept of, it's very difficult to master. So you can just fit them out with different loadouts, which of course takes time. So your time window is up the top here. So let's move aircraft to the launch queue. And let's send him on his way. So we can see he's taken off there. Look at him go. Oh. Look at him go. So we've got to put our helicopter next to the tanker. This whole thing with sensors is actually very important because it'll make a big difference later on once you actually get into combat. Now, they weren't kidding about this time thing. As I said, it's the emphasis on the real time here. So the real time is just that, it's real time, guys. So to make things happen, you've got your up to 120 times gain speed. So let's do that and just sort of try and speed things up a little bit. And there we go, we're done. So we might finish there, and we might cut to a little bit later on, or we'll show you a bit more of a combat one. So I'll see you in a moment. Alright folks, welcome back. So this is the third tutorial. So this one introduces your aviation side of things. So you've got your your airborne early warning aircraft here, keeping track on the enemy over there. And you've got your carry and your surface ship group here. So your surface ship group here, we've got our aircraft there. Let's have a look. Now we've got a nasty little Typhoon there, so let's get some air superiority aircraft up and running. So let's go. Let's go 2 for that one. Right, now up here you can change what height and what speed they move at. So let's get them to go at cruise, and let's go very low, so minimize radar detection. And let's set them to go up here. Okay. Now, one of the things that just popped up there, so that allows us to actually control our rules of engagement. So with our rules of engagement, for our ships there, it's self-defense only. Now we can move it to cleared targets. Basically, you can actually change what these ships, whether they're friend, foe, or unknown. Now this can make, again, a huge difference later on. So let's make cleared for all engagements, and let's set that the same for our F-35s. Moving on there. Also change how they use their weapons as well. So if you want to go for just conserve ammunition, or if you just want them to keep going until the target's dead, use the high amount of ammo. Now, be aware that again it does take time to rearm and get back to your carriers, so it's something else to watch for as well. So let's go. We want him dead as a door now, so let's go high amount of ammo. Submarine here. Let's get him to go run deep, and let's get him to go at flank speed. Now again, this makes a big difference. So if you're going fast at a higher sea level, you're going to find that you're going to get detected a lot easier. You're going to want to go deep if you're going to go and actually move fast. We'll get him to clear on fire and clear targets. Now these little circles will show you the weapon ranges that they have. So spearfish torpedoes, you can range out the blue there, so he's got a bit to go before he's going to get to that ship. Let's get him going towards that one. What we're also going to do is we're going to set up our combat air patrol, make sure that no one's surprises are coming towards our air force mouth over there. So flight deck. So we'll get 4. Now, this improves their radar range and their visual range. What it also does, it also makes it easy to spot. So let's select these and let's have them control just on there. Again guys, so this is the thing about this game, is about a real-time strategy. So this is going to take forever. So thank God we've got our little fast speed button up there. So let's shoot this up for a little bit. Alright, now as you can see it drop back there, and that's what happens in combat. So any kind of combat, your speed will actually automatically default straight back down. Now let's have a look. We've got we've got 6% before we run out of fuel, plenty of health in there. Let's change that to a higher altitude. Let's have them start patrolling here. Let's have a look at our sensors. So at the moment we're only scanning with a passive sensor, but if we flick to active now, put you up to the maximum altitude. With active sensoring, you will be able to see a long way, but your enemy can see you from further away, so it's something that you do need to be aware of and something to take into account. Now, what else we've got in this map? We've got our base over here with quite a few Poseidons, kind of there for fuelers, and now these guys here are set to naval strike. Let's maybe change them to land attack, so we can multiple select these. We'll change to land attack. And you can see here we've got a countdown. So I say an hour before they're going to be rearmed and ready to go. Oh, and we've just found the aircraft. So let's get some recipe already going. Alright, so we can see we've got an enemy typhoon. Now, the thing is, this new contact, we actually don't know. There we go, it's just been identified as an enemy. So one of the few things I do have a bit of an issue with the game is that it is fairly basic in its graphics, but it means that some of the map navigation is a bit of an update. There's no WASD, but you do have the up-down arrow keys. So let's get intercepting them. You do have to update these settings on every time you do launch an aircraft, so it's not just a fleet-wide thing, it is you do have to do it manually. Alright, so let's fast forward a bit and see how this all plays out. Oh, and we've got another contact. Here that the Typhoon Alpha was shot at actually turned around, because it is actually possible to outrun if weapons are fired at extreme range. If your enemy fires fast enough, then guess what, they can actually avoid them. And the little missile animation is pretty cool. So we completed our objective of shooting as many aircraft. Now let's get on to blowing up some ships. And maybe an airfield or something. So let's see how our base stuff are going. We've still got a bit of time to go, yeah. So we've got our little Tyrannus drones heading towards Portland there, so we can annihilate that. See, we're getting there. But again, it's all about the time. See here, we've had a warning that the ship have actually launched some anti-air defense missiles to actually shoot down my incoming ship missiles. So you can see they're all fairly effective actually, so it's interesting. And this guy's back to rearm. So again, it's one of the principles of naval warfare gets explored here about how you overload an enemy's defences by actually flooding someone with attacks. So still going, land attack bombs, but they've only got 8 minutes left, so we're nearly there. I think we shot most of the aeroplanes down there, so let's get some of these guys back. See, they've stopped firing missiles at my missiles. A bit of an interesting combination there. But it also means that they're out, so ammunition supply is just as critical as anything else in this game. Watch them go through and hit target. So again, this comes back to the end of this battle plan here. Probably should have set the make sure that was all some high ammo. Let's try that again. Now they'll actually unload everything for us. So it's about the attention to detail of this game, something that really is sometimes missed. But at the same time, the detail can be a little overwhelming. This is not a game for everyone, but definitely a game that I think can be enjoyed by anyone who is into their strategy games. But if you're coming for a game expecting amazing, drop-dead gorgeous graphics, you are not going to find it here. You want something with an in-depth strategy where you actually have to think about the decisions you make and what fuel you put in aircraft and stuff like that, then this is going to be the game for you. So folks, that's been a little bit of an introduction. Now the campaign is quite extensive and covers the same conflict and the same battles from both perspectives. So very interesting way of doing the flipping the side of the coins. Now, as I alluded to earlier, we'll quickly run through. So there is a multiplayer option where you can actually play online games together. Now, probably one of the best things though is there's the mission editor available. So as you probably saw before, there's the single mission option in the single player section. Now for this, you can not only replay any of the campaign missions, you can play a couple of scenarios which were created by developers, but also ones created through Steam, through Steamworks. So guys, there are some really great ones out there. One of my favourite ones is the Red Storm series. Well, there are a couple of other interesting ones, but guys, have a little flick through, enjoy the user-made content that's out there. So folks, overall, this is a great little title, one that is very quick and easy to get into, but it can be quite difficult to master. I do strongly recommend it. It's one of those titles that you've probably never really seen or heard much of before, but as I've said, if you're interested in strategy, especially if your old style and you want the strategy side, not necessarily flash and shiny graphics, definitely something to think about. Alright folks, thanks very much. My name's been Naval War 24. Have yourselves a great day and we'll see you next time.